Flirting is a real skill that most people don't have. They're either too scared or too inexperienced. By finishing this video, you're already ahead of the competition. The main goal when you're with a girl is to drop her anxiety. When she's comfortable around you, only then does the game begin. If she thinks you're creepy, then there's no point in flirting with her, since that'll only turn her off. Now, how can we drop the anxiety and start the flirting? Chapter 1. Think as a team. If you can align your thoughts with her thoughts, she'll calm down. She'll drop her shield. Now, how do we do that? Use the setting. If you're talking to her in a classroom, talk about the teacher. As an example, if the teacher is being annoying, you could tell the girl something like, "She's in her midlife crisis." This will make her laugh and drop her anxiety. It doesn't matter what setting, it's always possible to think in a team. If you're at a restaurant, use the waiter. If you're at a club or a bar, use some creepy guy or something about a picture that they put up on the wall or some type of decor choice they use. Something. Don't be too intimidating. Lean back and give her space and time to think. And don't show too much interest. Use all of these tricks to lower her anxiety. If you've done this, you can see that she's comfortable, and we can move on to the real flirting. Chapter 2. Complimenting correctly. A lot of dudes still compliment women incorrectly. They usually skip the first crucial step, which is reassuring the woman that you're with that you're not a weirdo or a creep. And if you don't do this, the compliment will be seen as a desperate attempt. I say this a lot, but it's really important to remember this. When you give a compliment, it has to be original. Here's what you should not say. "You look beautiful," or "You have beautiful eyes." She hears that too often. She sees that in movies. Now, you can compliment her about her eyes, but give it an original twist. For example, say, "That shade of blue I've never seen before. That's crazy." When in fact, she just has normal blue eyes. The point is to make the compliment stick. Another common mistake when it comes to giving a compliment is doing it too frequently. The more compliments you give, the less their value. Don't just throw them out there, and if she tries to provoke the compliments, don't give them. It is a tool that you have to use tactically. If you do it right, you're already in a good position, as someone she likes to be around. Listen, by watching these videos, I know you aren't one of those losers who think they already know everything. Even if you've only watched one video on this channel, you still clicked on it, and that shows that you have a fire inside of you to start improving. You already showed the willpower. The only thing you need is a path. I've put down 10 modules which you can see as ladders. Every module or ladder will exactly explain to you step by step how to get to the top. From achieving peak masculinity, advanced testosterone optimization, getting women, mastering the game of exchanging value, to actual money-making methods, and even more. I've literally laid the groundwork for you to become jacked, attractive, rich, and of high social status. You don't lack motivation. You just lack the knowledge and trust in the path that you're taking. You can continue messing around in the never-ending cycle of taking paths that lead to nothing, or click the link in the description down below. Chapter 3. Body language. When you're talking to a girl, your body language is very important. If you lean in and act super interested, she will feel anxious. You being that close feels real desperate. That's why you should lean back and take it chill. If she knows that you aren't that interested and not highly actively listening, she'll be way more comfortable, and it makes it easier to have a conversation. If you're touching her, do it super gently. Again, her anxiety will go through the roof if you are aggressively touching her or if you're doing it unprompted out of the blue. Here's what you have to keep in mind if you do go for a touch. Timing is everything. You tell a joke, make her laugh, and you can slightly touch her leg or shoulder. Good. Now you have broken the touch barrier. Don't overuse it, but from time to time, do it, since this subconsciously creates a connection. Another great tip for the tall men is to sit down, get on her level. This way she won't be that intimidated by you. It always comes back to the same principle. Is she comfortable? Yes? Well then good, that's the goal. Chapter 4. Ride her mood waves. Gentlemen, this one is quite simple, but we really don't often use it correctly. If she doesn't look too happy or even a little bit sad, don't approach her like you're the happiest man in the world. Women are emotional creatures, and if you don't play into that, you've already lost the game. I say game because it is a game. It's a true skill. If she's sad, you're sad. even if you're not. You don't try and fix her issues. She doesn't even want that. I know, not logical, but that's how the game works. She only wants you to listen. And yeah, that's all you have to do, really. It's super simple to pick up their spirits when they're down. Just kind of reaffirm whatever it is they're saying in the opposite direction and ask questions. Ask personal, intimate, involved questions. Like, oh no, you're actually listening. No, I get it. This can be really boring. And I would also recommend avoiding her if she's always unhappy and sad. You don't want to have that energy in your life. I want to put some extra emphasis on not trying to fix her. She'll break you instead. Chapter 5, Act Like Her Father. Another chapter title that gets you thinking, why should I act like her dad? Because that's all she sees and knows about relationships, or at least a lot of it. A great way to give her dad energy is by simply telling her one word. You want to know what word? Sure, it's no. Tell her no when she asks for certain things, and don't you dare add a sorry after it. This is the best way to give her dad energy, and she'll love it. If you're the only guy that doesn't try and get her drunk, she'll respect that, and again, it's the opposite of desperate. Chapter 6, Show Confidence. You can do all the chapters perfectly and still fail if you're insecure. You'll always have to be confident, but what if you're not confident? Well, then you're not ready. Work on yourself, go through some serious shit, and then you'll quickly realize that talking to girls is not hard. You also have to realize that they are 10 times more insecure than you are. If they aren't, then, well, that is a statistical miracle. And if you still don't have the confidence, I would recommend trying to flirt with women you aren't attracted to. This should build up that flirting skill quite well. If you shut down when it's an attractive girl, at least. You need to engage with more attractive girls on a daily basis. It's not rocket science. The skill takes time and effort. Chapter 7, Flirt with Other Girls. Wow, flirting with other girls isn't that toxic? Depends on the situation. If you don't know each other that well and you aren't dating, then it's perfectly fine to flirt with other girls. It's even better when you do it in the beginning. Why? This makes her anxiety drop rapidly since other girls are showing interest. Girls trust girls for some reason. She won't see you as a creep and she'll be interested in who you are. Chapter 8, Putting Everything You've Learned into Practice. This video is a golden nugget of valuable dating information. However, it is useless if you can't put it into practice. The absolute best way to do this is to go to home parties. Super easy since you can actually talk to the person, but you're also able to shift focus on other things. You can easily check on everyone's body language and work together with your friends to make it fun. Make sure the ratio is at least 1-to-1. If not, she's going to have a hard time feeling comfortable. Some other great places are work and school. Super easy to work as a team if you have the skills. You should be able to stand out easily. If you aren't practicing flirting with women as much as you can, then you are wasting valuable time to learn that skill. Game is something that comes with practice and the right info. If you have a group of friends who aren't busy with girls, find another group that you can go out and practice the skill with. Of course, I'm not saying you should drop the first group. You can have multiple friend groups. A place that I would avoid personally are clubs. I've tried, that's kind of like one of your first thoughts. You're like, I'll go to a club, I'll go grind up on some ladies. It is really hard to talk to girls, and they're usually not women that you want to have a relationship with. It's really not attractive when you have to scream into her ear. However, you can go to clubs with women that you already know. That's completely fine, it's pretty fun. So, I'm not personally a major club guy, but they're fun. So, now flirting with women in clubs is mostly nonverbal, but that's for another video. Don't shower her with too much attention. You probably heard that if something is worth doing, it's worth your undivided attention. Well, that doesn't apply to women, especially if you want to show her that you're high value. If you do that, you come off as creepy, and there's nothing classy about creepy. So you're always at her beck and call, and you think that she'll love you for that. Well, I've been there before, and I can assure you that you'll only get as much love as her dog or her cat. Nothing more. See, a high-value guy's attention is like gold dust. It's harder to come by and even harder to maintain, and she knows it. So, when she next comes around, don't be talking and jumping. It signals low value. A high-value man won't be so quick to get wrapped up in her world. So, here's the trick. Sometimes withdraw your attention momentarily. Do something else. Let her see that you have a life of your own. that your attention is valuable and not to be taken for granted. Control your emotions and presence. I used to believe that women liked vulnerable men. Men who showed their feelings every time and didn't care if someone called them a sissy. Anytime something bad happened, I would just pour my heart out and have girls console me. Trust me, not a good look. It's not just low class, it's no class. Took me some time to see what was actually happening. You see, high-value men are masters of emotional control. These folks could be dealing with a storm on the inside, but you would never catch a glimpse of it on their faces. In fact, emotions are tools in their hands, used to open up wallets and forge connections. Yes, those people use emotions, but they do not let emotions use them. Now, once I learned to control my emotions, it was time to learn to control something else. You see, high-value men have a certain presence about them that is truly magnetic. People are drawn to them. There is an aura of fascination that sets them slightly apart from the crowd. It's in every move, every gesture, every look, and every word. That is how it's done. When you step into a room, be mindful of your every step, every look, every word, and don't go to her directly. If she won't come, use bait. Make your presence scarce so it's hard to see you. And whenever she sees you, make sure you're looking your best and in control. Gather lots of experiences. Look, a lot about being high value is like real estate. It's all about location. High-class people are globetrotters, not mere tourists. They've been to places, they know various cultures, and they love having new experiences. And what does this do for them? Well, it helps them seize the attention and respect of the kinds of girls that you can only dream about. They're so interesting to chat with and to just be around. They know a lot of interesting things, and this makes them seem sophisticated. So, do you want to grab her attention and hold it for long? Well, you need to know a lot of interesting things. You need to have exciting experiences to share. If not that, then what do you want to talk about with her? Your boring day at work, or stories about your boring neighbors? No girl wants to hear the regular things that go on every day, all the time. They want something different. So be the difference. Be high value by gathering different experiences that you can share. Create happiness around you. Creating your own happiness is the mark of a high value man. In an era where many depend on others for pleasure and let external factors dictate their joy, be different. You don't want to be the guy who needs her to be happy. You probably heard a lot of men say, "She's my happiness," and think that that's a good thing. Well, it might be a good thing, but it ain't high class. A high-value person is in the driving seat when it comes to happiness. High-value men don't need anyone else to create their happiness. They are the ones who create happiness for those around them. So ask yourself, does she want to be happy? Of course, everyone does. Well, then you have a job to do. For the few times you show up around her, give her a happy time. A man that brings happiness today is like an oasis in the desert. How valuable is such an oasis? Well, I shouldn't have to say, but highly valuable. So we're about halfway through the video. Why don't you hit that subscribe button to support the channel? Do the same for the like button if you happen to be liking the video. All done? Let's get back to the list. Be classy in your ways. Firstly, class is not synonymous with wealth. It is an attitude, a reputation, and the way that you interact with the world. People with class can always find money. Not all those with money can find class. Class is about being polite, gracious, and hospitable. It is in the attention to detail and how you present yourself, from the attire to even your scent. Look at it this way. Everyone who sees you, including that girl that you won, would want to know who you are, and if you're worth approaching or responding to. So they're looking for clues from your interactions and your appearance. You can also come off as classy if you know fine art. And here's the gist. Many people who might not particularly care about the beauty of art still buy it even if it's from eBay. Why? Because they understand something that most people don't. Art doesn't just enrich your life, it shows class. And girls love high class. Be flexible. Flexibility is often misunderstood. It don't mean you're no pushover. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about understanding that the most obvious way to deal with the situation is not always the best way. It's recognizing that the world is not simply black or white. It is a landscape of different shades. A rigid personality simply tells you that you don't like growth, and trust me, women can tell. To truly embody the qualities of a high-value man, you gotta be flexible. For instance, when someone insults you, you don't have to get into a fistfight with them right there. Being macho has its place too. You can find ways to respond while maintaining your dignity. You don't want to lose your dignity over some silly words. Be educated. No, it's not just about learning the basics in school. It's about how you carry yourself in the company of peers. This is why the wealthy often send their children to expensive boarding schools. By being surrounded by peers of similar status, wealth no longer becomes the most important thing. Believe it or not, no girl wants to spend her life with a man who doesn't know how to handle himself amongst high-value people. She might like a street guy for some time, but eventually she will learn to dislike them. Be educated so that you can keep up in a room full of men of substance, so you can hold your own wherever you go. Learn the art of etiquette, how to converse without speaking over others, the importance of politeness, and how to leverage common ground to build lasting bonds. If you're after a high-value woman, she will want these traits. Like some would say, real recognize real. Safeguard your reputation. When it comes to class, your reputation is your most prized possession. After all, you shouldn't and can't always explain yourself. You don't want to brag. So, what else will speak for you? Your reputation. Your name should hold more value than anything that you have ever purchased. This is the last stage when you follow through everything else that we've talked about. Once you've built yourself up so she sees that you're a high-value man, you need to work on keeping that reputation, no matter the cost. Money can be earned back, but once your reputation is tainted, it's gone. With these 8 qualities, she'll see that you are a high-value man without you even saying a word. So get to work on yourself. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments section. We'd love to help. Also, you can learn more in the next video.